we are going to present our milestone 3. The agenda for today starts with the system architecture. Then we will talk about service flows, and finally our breakdown function list. Well, the first step to make our architecture was identify our stakeholders and the communication between them. The arrows that you can see represent the communication. For example, the red one is for money transactions. For example, when the shopkeeper has to pay the product to the Alpina agent. Another communication can be novelties, when, for example, the Alpina agent has to report all the novelties of the changes in the invoice to the bidder. And another one is the technology, when the loader gives information to the driver through NFC interaction. The next step was make our architecture. It has many components. Each component has a list of functionalities. You can see them in our PDF document. And we separate our architecture in three tiers. The first one is the presentation tier. This one, who is the responsible to interact with the client, in this case the user. The other one is the business tier, who has all the logic of our system and can interact with other systems if required. And the last one is the data tier that has the database. In conclusion, our system has many components that want to improve. Our architecture has many components and has the possibility to interact with other systems if required. For example, logistic or our classmate systems. Why? Because we want to improve many processes like track information, time control, real-time notifications, product control, and identification.
Hi guys. These are our service flows, and it's like I don't know, 19 diagrams. We are only show 3 for our main process diagrams. Then one for shipping, when the biller, who is an operator in Alpina, who get all the invoice, the sons, who is divide the city and the shops, and makes like a kind of route, yeah. But to make all the tracking, for all the invoice list, who is going to be in all the trucks, yeah. Every agent is going to have one invoice list. The next one is in delivery. Inside the Alpina agent, it has to report novelties, like Maria Paula says, real-time novelties, and he grabs all the novelties he received previously in other process from the shopkeeper, and send him to our backend platform. Well, this is all the steps. Pass for all the package, and finally to the DB. who triggers like another step, and who is the builder who receives the novelties. That I think is the next one. Yes, and then all the novelties in the before process came to this step for all the packages, and finally the builder has the novelty report, which is the main problem for our company, because this is like a bottleneck, and all the builder, the truck driver, the Alpina agent, and the receiver spends a lot of time doing this manually. And in this way, we can provide the real-time platform we are proposing. Okay, here he finished the novelties, and send data, and finish the whole transactions for the process of delivery. Okay.
Each one of the interactions that we saw on the modules in this diagram, in the sequence diagram, the arrows have names. Those names are the names of the functions that we are going to detail using this breakdown function format. The breakdown function format is composed by many fields, being the most important ones the function ID, which is unique for every function, the name, which matches the name in the sequence diagram, which component uses it, the description of the function, the input type, meaning like the data type of the input, and the different inputs that go into that function, the input description for each one of them, and the output description as well. We also have a responsible developer and a due date to deliver the function working properly. The report novelty, this is an example of what we did with our format. The report novelty is a function which is found inside the report novelties in delivery use case. Has a unique function ID, has a high priority. It's used by the UI or user interface. It has a basic description. It also has the input type, and it shows the description of the input type and what it contains. And for this example, we have a void output. The system, the message or the function only sends the inputted data to the next module. Here is another example, a more basic example, to novelty report, in which we don't have an input value, but we do have an output value. So the function description says what the function must do, and the output description tells us what the output of that function is. Thanks. Questions?
No, donde están los camioncitos. What is the trade control?
Trade control, well, for Alpina, they have trays where they put their products. The question was, what is trade control? For Alpina, those trays where they put their products and send them in the truck, those are actives of the enterprise. Those are valuable objects of the enterprise. So they wanted to have control, because sometimes those trays stay at the shopkeeper at the shop, or stay in somewhere else, and sometimes the shopkeepers take those trays for them. But those trays are of Alpina. So Alpina needs to have control of where are those trays. And for example, if that truck left the factory with 30 trays, it must come back with 30 trays. That is trade control.
There's another question. According to the services that you already know about the logistics platform, what are the services that you are going to use? I don't know if the group could see the documentation of the logistics or not.
The first idea that we have is to interact with the smart link. The question
The relationship between them.
question was about the integration with logistics, and we think we can interact with logistics and with SmartLink because it's the application for the deliveries. So we want to have the documentation to see what we want or what we have to do to enrich our product, our system and our application.
¿Le puedes preguntar si tienen preguntas?
Any question?
Jonathan.
Jonathan? Or both?
I don't have a question.
Yeah, so we don't have a question, but basically have only one suggestion to your breakdown function list format. Your format is good, contains all the information we need, but for the input and output, if you have multiple inputs and outputs, it will be hard to be shown, to be displayed in this table. So try to figure out what's the best way to show the inputs that are more than one.
Okay, next presentation.
Listo. Siguiente.